him, and I think it's just weird to run away.
If you really wanted to, maybe you could stay for dinner.
I'm actually a vegan.
Are you a vegan too?
No, I'm vegetarian.
Okay.
So this is how you're trying to make up for it?
Make up for what?
How things went with your first family.
Did it ever occur to you might be happy for me?
You can get a new house, you can get a new wife, you can get a new son, but I can't get a new dad.
You think this just happened to you? We both made a choice. You didn't choose me, and I didn't choose you.
Well, I don't know whose nature this is. It ain't mine.
No, it's usually my nature to turn something like this immediately off. And after like 10 minutes of it, I was like, please, will somebody like find the Book of the Dead or play that goddamn record and find that tape player and just, get something going on in this movie?
Calm down. Calm down.
Yeah.
Calm down.
Come on. It's for the father issues in all of us.
Yes, once again.
Once again, I know.
Another movie about hanging out in the woods with your family, dishing out all your family fucking problems that I don't care about.
Yeah, there does seem to be a surfeit of like these movies with the whole family working out their shit in a cabin in the woods lately.
Yeah.
What the hell is that?
I
no idea.
Need more demons from hell and less familial.
I do like the fact that they throw Gabrielle Union in here just to be that person who could speak for me to go, what is with you white people coming out in the woods and all this bullshit?
I loved her more for complaining about everything in the woods. Like, bugs, woods. How do you do this?
She made a good point.
Hey, man. I mean, it's like, you know what? I guess if you're into that, she would be annoying, but I was like, hey, somebody's got to say it.
Yeah. The only thing that that completely took me out of the movie is when she actually saw a bear in that damn house and she didn't hightail it off like Curly.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Just a bit of dust shaped like her.
That's so funny you guys say that because that's all I kept thinking about. I'm like, okay, why is nobody running to the car and just driving away from this whole thing?
The story of this film follows Zach Gilford, who plays Seth, and his girlfriend, Andy, played by Jenna Malone, who I'll always love because she was in Donnie Darko.
Sure, of course.
But who are very serious and seems to be on the verge of something more serious. They're moving forward in life, and they're driving out for a vacation at his family's cabin.
I think it's important to note that they're vegans.
Yeah,
just by saying that, it tells you what type of people they are.
It tells you something about them.
Yeah,
to be sure. Or
how,
at least
how much more annoying the movie's going to get.
She's a vegan. He's a
pescatarian.
He's a pescatarian who only calls himself a vegan when it irritates his father.
Right.
Who shows up in short time after they get there, played by John Slattery. His character's name is Gil. You might know John Slattery from Mad Men.
Right.
I always say, he's that guy in Mad Men who dropped acid. There you go. Who it's clear right from the get-go that he and his son just do not get along at all. Like oil and water don't get along. No respect from either side. To make things worse, he's brought his new serious girlfriend with him, played by Gabrielle Union, who plays Vicky, who is got to be 30 years younger than him or something.
Yeah, easily.
She's a lot younger than. I mean, I know I can't say anything, but still, damn.
She looked younger than the young couple in the.
Which is funny because they're like, "Oh, you're gonna be like my older sister." Like, really? You look the same age. But whatever.
So what we have here is a situation with the two women trying as best as they can to keep the peace, while the two boys snipe at each other over and over again in some of the most, like, I mean, come on, man, how old are you sort of ways.
There is, I mean, it's funny because John Slattery, he comes in, he's like, oh, he's that white businessman in his 60s who just, he's from a different generation, and you pick up after yourself, and why I gotta tell you this, and what, you hippie cut your hair, oh, you want to be a musician, you can't get a real job, where his son is like, I don't want to talk to him because he doesn't understand me. And at first, you're like, man, John Slattery, why you got to be such an asshole? But it doesn't take long before you go like, you know what? This guy, he's trying. He's at least adheres to who he is. This fucking son is a whiny brat, and I'm sick of him.
I felt that way about both of them, though. I mean, the son was indeed a whiny brat, like doing stuff like telling his dad he was a vegan just to be a dick.
Yeah.
Because he knew it would make his dad that much more flabbergasted. Yeah. But at the same time, like, I may think I may not identify with the decision to become a vegan, or rather I don't at all. But that being said, I still wouldn't, if it was my son and his girlfriend, start openly making fun of them at the dinner table for being vegan.
You wouldn't?
No.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would.
It was the best thing about the movie. I was like, finally some life.
Go ahead.
Oh, well, I was gonna. Well, the relationship with their with this father and son, where I mean, we all know of better stories we could tell with that type of scenario. This one seemed so like, I don't know, like they were trying to play it safe, and at the same time, I was just wondering, what are you guys fucking fighting about already? I mean, did somebody die? That did the wife pass away, and the son is pissed off that the dad treated her like shit and treated him like shit? Like I was trying to find a real reason.
What was even the reason? I can't even remember what the hell where it all stemmed from.
The thing, and the reason you guys,
I don't think they gave it a real reason.
The reason you guys can't remember is because it's just understated to a point to where it doesn't have much impact.
Yeah,
I mean, as near as I can tell, the father and son don't get along because there's so much that went on that really wasn't that much. So like a lot of little things where they just were distant from each other, and the dad clearly, like, the mom's not dead. She's around. The son is still close to her. They still speak, because one of the big issues is that his dad is meeting his serious girlfriend of 2 years for the first time, who he didn't even know existed. Mm-hmm. So that's already a problem, where the mom has met her several times. But it just seems like when it comes down to it, it's like, Dad, when I was young, you were distant, you were working a lot, and you were an asshole, and then you left mom. And it's like, okay, so
yeah.
Get
what?
over that.
Yeah.
How old are you now?
Yeah.
I mean, it's Coase, what you're saying is basically, it's like that you've gathered all your participants here. Mm-hmm. You have them in conflict, and yet the conflict itself is just kind of like, really? Why'd you call me in to watch this?
And the conflagrations of it aren't very interesting to watch. Nothing worthy of lensing ever happens.
Worthy of lensing. That's a good term.
Within these disagreements that they're having. I mean, the most exciting moment is when they're fighting outside and a bear comes in the house. And like, holy shit, there's a bear in the house. And it goes nowhere, and it's not funny, and nothing spectacular. I mean, literally, the bear just wanders off, and that's the end.
Can you blame him? I mean, can you really blame him? He's like, really? Guys, you guys suck. I'm getting the fuck out. You can't even make decent food. Wants the fuck out. Packs up his bags and leaves. Let me go with you, bear. Please, take me with you.
It's not even like, I want to go, oh, but the performances are good, but you don't care. Who cares if the performance... That's not even good. They don't give them enough stuff to do to really judge whether they're good or bad.
I actually really like John Slattery in this.
Yeah?
I liked him a lot. I thought he brought life to it. And even Gabrielle Union at times, I liked her, although they were really inconsistent with her character.
They were a strange couple. Yeah. I was even wondering, like, why are you guys even together?
Yeah, I never saw anything, any sparks between them of any kind. Mm-hmm. Like, or both in just the actors' chemistry, or in the sense of, like, who they've written their characters to be. Why would they like each other? Mm-hmm. I didn't see it.
Yeah, there's so much... Like, there's so much that's not said between the father and son, but there's so much not said in the movie. And it's like, I don't know if you guys are just being understated, or you just don't have enough here.
Yeah.
But you just, had actors and you wanted to shoot something. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, some of it's, I don't know, like the way it's filmed, I guess it's competent enough that didn't bother me.
It's not incompetently made. It's just, its whole reason for being is in question.
There's a halfway point, like right before the halfway point, where I found like, I was liking everybody. Okay, the situation, I get it. And it's like, okay, here we go. Now, let's see where this is going to go. And what it does for the next 40 minutes is just drag.
Well, there was one point in the movie where, the son gets to hang out with his dad's girlfriend, and the dad is hanging out with the son's girlfriend. Yeah. And half the time I was wondering, okay,
are they going to split off?
Yeah, this is where it gets nice and dirty. And then I realized I wasn't watching a porno, so I was like, God damn it!
The movie it's got nothing else, so it toys with the idea that might happen, which is pointless. Mm-hmm. Ultimately, in this film you're watching, once you get to the end, you realize there's no way that was ever going to happen.
Yeah. And they drop it like a ton of bricks. I mean, they don't even refer to it in any other way. Yeah. And you're like, all right, that was the only thing you really had going for you besides. The only reason the bear that's going to come in and try to have a threesome, I guess. But but I mean, the thing is with it is that you're right. I mean, the whole time watching it, all I can think was like, who the fuck is this writer? And I mean, the first thing you want to tell a writer is that make the subject you're talking about interesting for everyone, not just because you had a little scuffle with your dad. You're going to go write something completely boring and just not interesting.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know. It seemed like a complete waste of that cast because the chick, the Donnie Darko's
Jenna Malone?
Jenna Malone,
yeah. I was honestly like looking forward to seeing her,
Naked.
just naked and playing a character. I always thought she was supposed to be like an up and coming actress.
Yeah.
and then she just kind of disappeared, and then she came back with Sucker Punch, and I'm like, ooh, maybe it'd be best if you just disappear again, because that movie completely made her disappear. But yeah, I don't know. I thought they just completely wasted her. So
yeah. I mean, very
It's
much so. And I don't know. I mean, the whole thing. This is actually a talented cast of people. I think everybody in here is talented, and except maybe Zach Gilford, who I was not impressed with.
Yeah, not at all.
But the other three, very much so. And they never get a chance to really do anything with their opportunity here, because the script, quite frankly, doesn't allow them to.
It did seem like they showed up ready to do something.
Yeah, it really does. They brought a lot of energy to it, clearly, but it's energy that just left floating in air. Maybe that's... I think if you're the type of person who may have an applicable situation in your own life to this, that maybe you'd read more into this and like it because you were able to picture the story beyond it or something, because it does seem like a little... I mean, nothing's really resolved. It's just a little, family happens, type of story. But for me... I couldn't find anything really to identify with. I kind of wanted to smack everybody involved. So
Sure.
I'm actually going to give this a low rental.
It's just that slice of life, I guess you'd call it, where it doesn't cut off in a place that leaves you going, oh, okay, that's why I needed to see that. Mm-hmm. And it takes too long to do it. It's like, if they could have shaved off 20 minutes, maybe even 30, they could have had something tight where it's like, okay, that was kind of cool. But it doesn't. That after the halfway point, it drags something fierce. And you're like, can we get to it already? And then it's done. It's like, wow, I guess this works well as if it was the director's therapy. But for the rest of us, it's just not fun. It's very much a rental. I don't know if I'd say low rental, but it's a rental.
I felt like fucking dry paint on a wall, just way ready to crumble and float away. I mean, just the whole experience of having to sit through this movie. And the worst thing is that we had a screener of it, so there was so many times I wanted to just like go and just take a shit, even though I didn't have to, just to get out of that goddamn living room. But I mean, it's just nothing happens, nothing's going on.
Go off into the woods, and there's the bear going, "You too?"
Yeah, you too. Exactly. Yeah, it throws me the toilet paper, like give it back when you're done. Well, I mean, even if there was fucking demons in this fucking cabin, they left a long time ago because they're just like, man, this family sucks. There ain't nothing cool about this. There ain't nothing going on. Nobody's trying to screw each other. Yeah, it's just a bunch of whiny bitches, and I have to give it some bullshit because I just did not care.
Seriously, if this is their nature, maybe you should just, die. I just say, it's natural selection.
Just lock your ass up in that cabin and don't bother nobody, and don't bother anybody with your goddamn films.
Oh, you're only going to eat things that don't come from animal products?
Now, see, this is
you're gonna die out in the woods.
This is the scenario where you want Jason Voorhees to show up.
Yes, it is.
Well,
you don't know how badly I wanted Jason Voorhees to show up. And you know what? At this point, by the halfway point of the film, I would have taken Chucky.
Ever think there's a difference between not saying something because there's nothing to say, and not saying something because there's just too much?
Seth, I would offer you some wine, but there are little bacteria in here that ferment the grapes, so probably don't want to kill them.